What's good, y'all? This your boy Derek Branch here, SportsView360.com, covering the Memphis Tigers today. And today I want to talk about what transpired yesterday evening between the Memphis Tigers and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Once again, Memphis was had an opportunity to win the game, had an opportunity to beat a SEC opponent, um, have one on their resume, even though this year's Mississippi State team is not what they were last season. They still might make the tournament, but things are looking pretty, you know, dim for them right now. Memphis fell short once again by a score of 71-66. Then the game didn't go in overtime, unlike the matchup with Vanderbilt, but Memphis did have their chances to win that game. It just boiled down to what has transpired in a lot of the Memphis games this year, where it's close down the stretch, but um, Memphis can't capitalize. They can't capitalize, due to just um, not playing together. Turnovers, bad, sequence of events happening during those final minutes of those games, and that happened yesterday against Mississippi State. You hit the buzzer beater to go into halftime, cut Mississippi State's lead down to 34-30. You get back into it, get the lead. You get the lead momentarily. Couldn't close it out. Mississippi State had those guys, like I've discussed in countless other videos about the Tigers. I'm going to keep saying it, but Memphis not having, one or two guys that we can put the ball in their hands and say, "Hey, go close these guys out." You saw it yesterday with Mississippi State. When the game looked like it was getting out of reach, looked like Memphis was trying to pull away, the answer all the time. And Memphis just don't have those guys this year. They just don't. And now with this loss to Mississippi State, I mean, and pretty much the loss to Vanderbilt, you pretty much lost all margin for error going into conference play. All margin for error for this team is out the window. I'm pretty sure that the at large bid that you know the bracketology post and all that had for them going into the season, they thought Memphis would be good enough to get a AQ bid and from the group of five leagues. That's all out the window now. That's all out the window now. I just think that they're gonna have to just go out there and when it get hot at the right time, it probably won't look pretty, but get hot at the right time and win the conference tournament, win the conference championship, um, even win the regular season um, championship. They just have to. You know what I mean? Just what it is right now with this team. Just a lot has went down. You know what I'm saying? Um, it just I'm not gonna really I see a lot of people kind of faulting this to Memphis not really having the money to go out there and get really good players and all that. I don't think that's the issue. I think that you just don't have that team this year. You just don't have that type of team this year to where you can go out there and be competitive against teams like a Louisville, teams like Purdue, Wake Forest, Mississippi State. Even though Mississippi State is not even those don't look like a good team this year. Vanderbilt, you just don't have those guys this year. That's just what it is right now, and it happens. That's just one of the drawbacks of the NIL. You know, um, if he can go out there and get high school guys, high school recruits, and develop them 4 and 5 star guys. But are you going to be patient? Or is the fan base patient enough to let Penny build a really good team? And even though you may get guys from Memphis to come to this program and play, the money factor is still going to be an issue because other programs, Power 4 leagues, are looking at that. Powerful leagues are looking at these programs all the time. It's happening in college football. You know, group of five have or a group of five team has a roster of really good players. Teams from the Power Four are looking at that, offering money. So and also, man, I know people will say that the league is so bad that Memphis could go in there and win it, even with the roster they have right now. I mean, that's true and all, but to a certain extent, that's not. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the case this season because early in the year you lost to a group of five team in UNLV, and that UNLV team is not even good under former head coach Josh Pastner. You know how Memphis lost that game. Because UNLV has been losing since they beat Memphis. UNLV lost to Tennessee State, who was coached by former Memphis assistant Nolan Smith. So it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be an uphill climb. You know what I mean? To determine where this team is gonna be this upcoming season. You know what I'm saying? So I still think they can win the league, but they just gotta get right at the high time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just gonna be a lot that's gonna have to transpire for this team to really come together. You know, but I like the evidence, the results in these games. They show that Memphis can hang with these teams. They really do. It's just that they don't close out. They don't close out at all against these type of teams. Every time it happens, you know, Penny Hardaway has been adamant about this the last couple of weeks about this team, not coming together. That this team doesn't show, pride in the city, doesn't show pride in the program. He felt as though the team has a bunch of individuals. I'm pretty sure you've heard the story where um, he has fined Aaron Bradshaw over like 20 grand. Just because he's not complying with team rules. And according to what he also said is that Aaron Bradshaw is not the only player that he is fined from NIL compensation. He's fined multiple players. So they're gonna have to come together, man, real fast, and go through this and win this league. Now, from based on what I've seen in the standings, right now, Temple's like the best. Not Temple. Tulsa has the best record going into conference play. Now, will that change once they get into the American? We'll see. But Memphis can have an uphill battle in the American, crazy as that sound, if things don't get settled in anytime soon. Now you got one game left on a non-conference slate, and that's against Alabama State. You also be playing against a former Memphis assistant. So we'll see how that all play out, man. But this has not been a good year for Memphis basketball from a non-conference standpoint. And this is just one of the drawbacks of scheduling these type of games when you go into the season with a roster that may not be all up to par just up going into the season. And maybe down the road in the future you cut back on that. I know next year, I know you got Baylor. You play Baylor again. You play Mississippi State again, I believe. This time is at Memphis. You got Louisville. You continue that. You be playing that game for the next 6 years. Louisville, Baylor, Ole Miss. You still playing those teams. You may have to cut back on that going forward. Because the roster is going to be like this, we'll see. But not a not a good slate of games. The outings in these games have not been good for Memphis basketball, man. It just hasn't been. I can see the frustration on Peanut Hardaway's face. Um, Clearly not satisfied with the way things are going right now with this team. But hopefully they could get things turned around this upcoming going into conference play. You know what I'm saying? So right now they're on a 3-game losing streak. Um, After winning 3 games, um, the thing is, like I've said, they don't have a closer, and Mississippi State had that yesterday. You know, uh, multiple guys had put in some big games for this team, some big contributions for Mississippi State yesterday. Jane Epps, he led the team with 19 points. Josh Hubbard put up 17. Um, Jones, he came alive at the right time for the team for Mississippi State. Curtis Givens had a solid outing, 18 points, 13 came in the second half. Could he be that guy if he was more consistent? If he could show more consistency in these games, he could be that guy that they can count on. Aaron Bradshaw had 12 points. And he had 12 points, 7 rebounds. They need to see more of that from him. Ashton Hardaway had 11 points, 4 rebounds. So, like I say, man, look, they got guys that can hang with these teams. They can hang with these teams. Louisville is a different weight class. Let's just be real with that one. But um, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Wake Forest, they can hang with these powerful programs. It just going to close it out in the final minutes of the game, in the second half. Who do you get? Who do you put that ball in? Who you put the ball into? Who hands you give the ball to? Who you give that to? Ashton Hardaway, um, Curtis Givens. Who is that guy? Doug McDaniel. They need that for this team to win, and that's been an issue for this program since the season started. Now, looking back at it, looking back at this non-conference slate, you had no business losing to UNLV. No business losing to UNLV like that, because UNLV is not a good team. They're just not. So we'll see how it all play out, man. But Tigers are now 4-7 on the season. They've lost 3 straight games after winning 3 straight previously. Up next, you got Alabama State at home, FedEx Forum, close out conference slate, and then you go into conference play, starting off against North Texas. I believe that's at home. Lakers on New Year's Eve, so we'll see how it all play out for the Tigers in that matchup. But that's all I have for y'all for right now. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. What are your thoughts on the current state of the Memphis Tigers basketball program? What are your solutions? What do you think can happen? Do you think they can win the American Conference this season? Have a blessed Sunday. Be safe. I'm out.